Welcome to State of Wellbeing, a podcast from South Dakota State University. The State of Wellbeing is a holistic well-being podcast with the goal of supporting the campus community as we strive to be a growing, high-performing, and healthy university.
Hi, welcome to State of Wellbeing. I'm Caitlin Walters, the Wellbeing Specialist, and today we're talking about Hobo Day. I have with me Claire and Eleanor. Would you mind introducing yourselves?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Claire Koenecke, and I am this year's Grand Pooba.
I'm Eleanor Wehseler, and I am the Marketing Assistant Pooba.
And what do you both study here at SDSU?
I'm studying English and Political Science double major.
I'm studying Agricultural Communications and Public Relations.
Wonderful. What made you want to be involved in the Hobo Day Committee?
I think I was approached by last year's Grand Pooba as applications were starting. So I was super excited that she asked if I was interested in it and really encouraged me to apply. So that was definitely the driving force behind it for me.
Yeah, growing up, my parents brought me to Brookings for every Hobo Day, so I've actually never missed a Hobo Day in my life. This will be my 21st Hobo Day parade. And so when I came to campus, I kind of knew that this was something I wanted to get involved with, but I didn't really know what it looked like on the student end. So my freshman year, obviously went to all the events, kind of saw what they were doing, and that really solidified that was something I wanted to get involved with. And so I saw applications open over Christmas break my freshman year and jumped at the chance. Here we are. So.
What do you do with your positions on the committee?
Yeah, as the marketing assistant, I'm in charge of ordering any kind of marketing materials we have. So posters on campus, all of our buttons, we order thousands of them. Mm-hmm. And otherwise we do, yesterday we were on Dakota News Now, so I organize that. And then I have coordinators, so a social media coordinator, and she manages all of our social medias, community and campus outreach, and they work with the community and campus as a whole. And then we have an apparel and merchandise coordinator, and she also does a lot of designing for us. So mostly just managing them, making sure they're getting their jobs done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then as Grand Pooba, I have a lot of the kind of administrative tasks. So I obviously ran committee applications for the assistant Poobas and then also the coordinator position. So kind of leading the charge on that, getting everything together for those applications in, getting word out so that people know to apply. That was a big part of my job. And then I also managed the budget. So I applied for funds early in the year and then oversee the budget, so making sure nothing is going over budget, which has been a lengthy project. It's been interesting, but that has been fun so far. And then kind of leading meetings, setting agendas, getting meeting spaces. I'm in charge of the Bubmobile, so I like to take that out every once in a while. And then other than that, kind of just committee help, anybody that may have a random issue pop up here and there. I do anything like that too. So
by being in charge of the Bubmobile, do you get to drive it yourself?
I do get to drive it, which has been a very fun adventure. Eleanor also knows how to drive it. There are some interesting little quirks with that vehicle, but it's a lot of fun to get to take out. We love to go drive it around campus during the day and wave at people. It's really fun until it dies. So but she's running well this year, so we're excited about that.
Do you have to push it back if it dies?
We have had to do that several times. We had to do that last week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think there's just so much more that goes on behind the scenes of Hobo Day that we don't think about for those of us that are just kind of there for the mm-hmm. events. So I didn't go to school here. I haven't been to any of the Hobo Day parades or any of the events. What is Hobo Day?
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell
Hobo
us
Day
about the history?
SDSU's homecoming. It's 113 years old this year, and it's been around for a long time. There's a lot of traditions that have continued. We've had several that have been discontinued at this point, but it's a lot of fun. Students really get involved, the community gets involved, alumni get involved. I don't even know how many people come to the parade on Saturday morning. There's not a great way to count that, but I can say that when we walk down the parade route out the end of the parade, it is 6 people deep on every single corner, every single street. There's just so many people there, and it's just a lot of fun to get to see that behind the scenes, kind of what we do, the little things that you would never even think of but need to happen in order for these events and these parades to run smoothly.
I guess I wanted to ask what activities actually happen next week, and do either of you have a favorite activity?
Yeah, we started with our first event our first event is in April, and that's the kickoff for 6-month club. So if you want to put down the razor and grow a beard or grow your leg hair for 6 months, that's always a fun option. And then there's a sister event to that in September. So it is September 11th this year, is 1 month out from Hobo Day. So we had quite a few students sign up for that one this year, and they will be judged at one of our events next week. Last night we had another event, so Hobo Gear Prep Night. So we had clothes come in from Goodwill, and we sold them to students as kind of just a way for them to prepare their Hobo Day outfits, get some fun buttons and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then next week kicks off actual Hobo Week. So on Monday, we have Bum a Meal, which is where host homes in the Brookings community can sign up to host a group of students. And so we are charged with getting community members to sign up, and then we get students to sign up, and we pair and match numbers evenly so that if somebody signs up for 12, they're getting 12, but groups are staying together. It's a lot of mathematical kind of testing, playing around on our end to make sure that one runs smoothly, but that one's probably one of my favorites. I did it my first year, and it was just super fun. I still see the family around town, and they recognize me, and it's just really great. But this year we have spots for almost 800 students, and so we are excited to kick that one off on Monday evening.
Yeah. Tuesday is Bum Over, so you can get a pile of cardboard in the ballroom in the student union and make your own hobo shanty. People make creations. Last year we had a recreation of the campanile, and it was almost the height of the ceiling. It was pretty tall. There was a replica of the football stadium, so really whatever students want to build and whatever kind of creativity they have for that day, they can just show up with a team, and there's some fun games and competitions to see who wins.
Do you take cardboard donations for that, or how do you get your cardboard?
Yes, Larson Manufacturing donates a few pallets of cardboard, so we have to
Gotcha.
haul that all in to the union. So, yeah.
It requires a forklift, so we got that rented, and we're good to go. And then Wednesday, we have Rally at the Rails, which is kind of our community pep rally downtown on 5th Street. And we have a live band, food trucks, games, kind of just an outdoor event that allows people to come and hang out and have some fun on a Wednesday night before the big day.
Yeah, and then Thursday is our last student-oriented event. So that's called Bum Fire, and it happens behind the football stadium and kind of the tailgating area. And we get a big cutout of the SD symbol and light that on fire. There's going to be live music, hot chocolate, snacks, things like that. Just another place for students to gather and celebrate SDSU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Saturday is the big parade. It starts at 9:30, starts on Madera Avenue, goes down to 6th Street, and then ends on Main by the railroad tracks.
So there's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if we caught, what was your favorite event out of all of them?
I think my favorite one is the parade, of course. There's just so many people that come to town for it. It's super cool to see all the floats that people are working on. I heard rumblings of a super big one from one of the agricultural clubs. Mm-hmm. They always show up and show out with their float. So I'm super excited to see what they make this year.
I did listen, you had an interview where you talked about people often come up to you and tell you their favorite stories, alumni or people that have been in the community, favorite stories from Hobo Day of years past. Do either of you have like a favorite story that you've heard that happened either in your time or in years past?
Yeah, we get a lot of alumni coming up to us and asking about if traditions that were on campus when they were on campus were still alive. And most of the time, I have to inform them that they are not, and I actually don't really know what they're talking about. There's a lot of older traditions that we do know about, but there's definitely some intricate ones that they just have the fondest memories of, and they can't wait to tell someone about them. So that's always really fun to get to kind of see what Hobo Day looked like couple years ago.
Yeah, and I didn't grow up around SDSU or Hobo Day at all, so it was kind of cool to come in and hear all of these stories from people. A few weeks ago, someone told us about how he started growing his beard for 6-month clubs. I think he was a sophomore in college, he said, and has never stopped, and he was probably in his mid-60s, so that was kind of fun to see.
I think it's really fun to think about like how much tradition impacts people. What do you all think of the value of like something like this, like a big, strong tradition on campus and participating in that for a student?
Yeah, I don't even know if I have words to describe how meaningful it is to be on the Hobo Day Committee, and just know that all of these students, when they look back at their time on campus, they're going to remember Hobo Week, and they're going to have these fond memories in 50 years and tell their kids and their neighbors and all of these people about their time at SDSU, and it's probably going to include some memories from Hobo Day. And getting to know that we are kind of the work behind that is a lot of fun. And then even thinking about the families that come to Brookings. My family comes every year, and sometimes some of my extended family comes that I haven't seen for a couple months, and so getting to reunite with them is always a lot of fun. And just getting to know that we are putting that on for so many people is just such a worthwhile feeling, and it's just been a great experience.
Yeah, I think it's super fun to see people just light up when they talk about Hobo Day and SDSU in general. You'll hear stories that you never even thought were a thing here. So it's just kind of fun to connect with them, and they love to share, what they maybe did and during their time at SDSU, but being able to reflect on that and know that I was a part of putting that on, I think is definitely a big thing for the committee as a whole. We all just really enjoy seeing everyone love SDSU.
Well, I think, too, like the fun thing about participating in traditions is, I know it's part of going to a university, but even just participating in the traditions at your university is that you get to feel like you're part of something beyond just yourself, and that you have this like community that collectively all dress up funny and go to a parade or, enjoy doing different events together. And I think that's really fun, too. What are some of the other benefits for students in engaging in Hobo Day activities?
I would say just creating your own community, especially for freshmen coming in. That bummo meal experience my freshman year was super fun. I got to know some people that I was never going to come across otherwise. We had entirely different majors and interests, but being able to connect with students on that level is super special. Having that connection with the community as well. I think coming into campus and finding your home, getting in the pace of things those first few weeks into the semester, and then having this super fun event to look forward to is always huge for students.
Yeah, I would also add it's really great that we kind of incorporate that community. I know my freshman year on campus, I didn't really go off campus much. And so Rally at the Rails was kind of one of the first times I had gone downtown and explored and kind of saw how many restaurants are down there. And so getting kind of acclimated with the community, I think, is one of the benefits for students. Also with Bubba Meal, getting to know some people in the community. Like I said, my host home still says hi to me when they are grocery shopping, things like that. And so just getting to feel like you're kind of placing some roots in the community, I think is a really big benefit of participating in our events.
Well, I think that's important for first-year students, especially because, hopefully you're going to be here for at least 4 years, if not longer. And, Brookings does have, such a warm and welcoming community, and they really care about the college students. And so being able to, as a college student, get connected to that, and even like you said, being able to see other parts of the town that maybe you're not seeing as a first-year student, where you're staying in your dorms or on campus mostly.
Yeah, and with that, too, getting to see how many alumni like to support SDSU and just seeing this big Jackrabbit family that you are now a part of, I think can be really reassuring for students, too. That's something definitely I would say unique to SDSU. We get to celebrate that,
So I was a really shy student, and the idea of going to events that I didn't know someone else was going with me would have been really hard for me to get over. What do you say, or how do you encourage students who might be shy, or maybe they're like, my friends aren't going, so I'm not going to go? What would you say to them to try to get them to go to some of these events?
Yeah, I was a super shy student my freshman year. Me and my freshman year roommate, we did absolutely everything together, and it was pretty much just us two against the world. But I would say just go do it. Even if it's you by yourself, you'll find people. People on the committee would love to talk to people. We just are super excited about Hobo Day and want to share it with as many people as we can. So just showing up and putting a smile on your face, even if you're a little bit nervous, is always the best part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would encourage them to maybe reach out to somebody new if there's somebody in their class that they have talked to a few times. I know my first Hobo Week when I was a freshman, a lot of the events I went to with people I didn't really know beforehand. So just reaching out to somebody, they probably want to go anyways, I think. So if you can get a group together going, I think that's a great way. But yeah, committee members would love to talk to you too. So we're always dressed up, probably the most dressed up. So we're easy to spot usually.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that like the committee members are going to be, one, you probably know a lot of the people that are going to be there. And so you can kind of help like, oh yeah, here, connect with this group. And yeah, I think that's a great idea. I also think too, I would probably tell them like, your CA is probably trying to get groups to go, and maybe talk to your CA. If your CA is not going, maybe they know someone who is going and can help connect you. But I think if it's something where you're like, I really don't want to go alone, but I kind of want to go, trying to find someone to go with, or going and meeting up with your CA or meeting up with the committee members to just find someone to kind of like connect with while you're there. I think that's a really good idea. I think the other part of all of that is that when you think about it, if you're going as a student, you really only have 4 times that you get to, I mean, if you're on track for a 4-year or 5-year, you really only get like 4 or 5 times to go as a student. And then after that, you're still obviously welcome as an alumni, but you know, there's something so meaningful about going as a student and being able to say like, yeah, I did that, and being able to tell people later on like the memories that you made. And so I just think that too, like there's only a couple of times that you get to go as a student, so really take advantage of that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hobo Week means a whole different thing to me being a student here. That first week when I came, obviously I was familiar with the parade, but just getting to go to the events and really feel like Hobo Day is like partly mine. Like this is my school, these are my friends and my classmates, is a lot of fun. So I would encourage everyone, yeah, you really only get a few, so definitely take your chances.
So kind of moving on to the committee part of it, what can a student or how can a student get involved in the committee next year? What does that look like?
Yeah, so our committee application opens in December, so we'll get our Grand Pooba solidified pretty much the day after Hobo Day. The application for Grand Pooba comes open again, so someone from the current committee will be the next Grand Pooba, and then we'll pick our assistants after that. And then come December, January timeframe, we'll post on all of our social medias, push it out to students that the committee application is open. And really anyone from any academic major is allowed to be on the committee. We would love to have absolutely everyone. There's 18 spots on the committee, so you can kind of pick if you want to be planning events, if you want to be part of the parade team or the marketing team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are really proud. We have 6 of the 7 colleges represented on our committee this year. And so we really have people from all walks of academic majors, and it's been fun to get to see a group of students that are so different but all come together and work on something. So we get a lot of questions about kind of like what majors they should be if they want to be involved, but you can really be anything, which is a really fun part of Hobo Day.
Well, I think just like that, showing that you've been a part of a committee and been a part of a team and have some leadership experience, I think that's really valuable for like a resume as you're looking for like building that resume up for when you're searching for jobs. What does the time commitment look like for the committee? How much time do you spend?
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on what time of year it is. We start full committee meetings. I think it was February of this year that we started getting together as that whole group of 18 students. So in the spring, obviously, it's going to be a little bit lighter because we aren't, in the thick of planning for events and the parade. But come fall, I think as an assistant we spend, and as Grand Pooba, you spend quite a few hours down in our Hobo Day office or just working on things separately. But as a student, as a regular coordinator, it's really not that huge of a time commitment looking at it in a whole. Obviously, there's days that are going to feel like you've spent 10 hours on Hobo Day, but it's really worth every second that you spend on it.
Last question, because I know it's kind of like, what should people wear? What is the outfit?
That's kind of a hard science and something that took me kind of a long time because I would look at all these other people. I'm like, I feel like their outfit looks so much better than mine. Usually I try to pick something that's kind of patterned on the bottom, so whether that be like a skirt or some fun pants or even jeans with like patches on them. And then I usually just wear like an SDSU shirt or something on top like that. And then obviously you got to collect your buttons. Most people on the Hobo Day Committee have like a vest that they wear just because that's something easy to throw on and off. But I've seen people put them on blazers, on shirts, on scarves. Really, I think it's all about the buttons. And if you have a few of them, that's good. Everyone kind of likes to find their signature Hobo outfit item. Personally, I typically wear mismatched socks, and that's kind of my finishing touch on my outfit. But yeah, Eleanor, what is yours?
Yeah, there's 2 stuffed animals that have been passed through the committee a little bit. Their names are Chipper and Lammy, so those ride in my pockets at most events.
I think it's really fun, and I mean, who doesn't like being able to kind of dress up and dress goofy. And yeah, I think like if you're looking for like the thrift stores around town probably have plenty of items that you can go check out if you missed the event this week. But wonderful. Anything else you want to add about Hobo Day?
We're really excited for it, and we hope everyone participates and comes to our events. And I always tell people that we do a lot of work, but it's all for other people. And there's truly nothing we'd rather be doing, but we hope everyone has fun and enjoys it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of State of Wellbeing, a podcast from South Dakota State University. This podcast is brought to you by the Mental Wellbeing Team and SD State Health.